Hi again, Year 11. It's now still week 2. It's lesson 3, and it's your third lesson of the second week of online learning, and we're consolidating this learning this week and then doing a translation as well. You will need to upload your translation for me. Okay, so to start off with, please, can you remember what we looked at last week? As well as this week, I'd like you please to match up the illness or the problem with the cause. So if you've got a broken leg, then how might that have happened? Here we've got the flu, tengo la gripe, tengo la pierna rota, me duele la cabeza, duele mucho el estómago. So look at what the illness is and then think about what the cause might be. Pause the video to do this and then start up again when you're ready. Gracias. Okay, so you've restarted the video because you've done the work and you've written these out in full. So you should have tengo la gripe porque ayer. So I've got flu because yesterday. Right, where could this, or what might have happened so that they've got flu, or they've obviously got a chill. So it should be número 2. Fui en barco. I can't move these over, apologies. Fui en barco por el río Támesis y me caí el agua. So I went on the boat on the River Thames and I fell in the water. So that could very well be why they have now got a chill or they've got flu, because they fell in the water. Okay, so fui is from ir, me caí is the reflexive verb caerse. Me caí is the preterite tense, so I fell. Number 2, tengo la pierna rota porque la semana pasada. I have a broken leg because last week, and you need to look down on the right hand side. We've used the second one here, but is it something about drinking wine? Is it something about eating too much? Or is it in fact number 4, which it is, tuve un accidente, me caí de la bicicleta por la carretera. So me caí again is the reflexive verb caerse in the preterite. I had an accident, I fell off my bike on the road. So por la carretera is the roadway. So that's why he broke his leg last week and he fell off his bike. Number 3, me duele la cabeza porque ayer por la noche. And why does he have a headache? My head hurts because yesterday evening, and it's actually the first one. Bebí una botella entera de vino tinto. I drank an entire bottle of red wine. Vino tinto, you didn't say vino rojo, it's tinto for red wine. Bebí una botella entera de vino tinto. That would go to number 3. And finalmente tenemos número 4. Me duele mucho el estómago porque ayer, my stomach really hurts because yesterday comí demasiado chile. I ate too much chili. Okay, so preterite tenses there. You're practicing bebí, fui, me caí, comí, tuve, which are good practice there, and also it's cause and effect. So what's causing these health problems over here? Okay, once you've written those out, please, in full, then you can move on. So pause the video, move on when you're ready. Okay, so we're moving on, and we have just to look at the objectives of the lesson. We are going to set some targets based on what we've done this week. There's a translation you're going to do, and you're doing some vocabulary about healthy eating. So the first one here, I'd like you please to choose the correct verb. Now you don't need to write this whole thing out, although it would be useful if you do, and if you want to take a picture of it maybe to keep it, then it would be a very useful example of something written in various tenses about healthy lifestyles. We're going to do more on this next week. This is more to practice the verbs that I want you to check. So you're looking at, let's do the first couple together. Hola amigos, el fin de semana pasado. So there's your time indicator, last weekend. Voy, fui, or voy a ir. It's obviously last weekend, so it's got to be the preterite tense. Just need to come out of this and go into, get a pen so I can work with this. Okay, so last weekend, and it's going to be fui. Last weekend I went al polideportivo con mis amigos. Carrying on doing number 2 together. This is still last weekend. They went to the sports center. Juego, jugué, voy a jugar. So it's going to be the preterite I played. I play, I played, I'm going to play. The preterite jugué, al squash, y después, I play squash, and afterwards, hago, voy a hacer, hice. It's going to be the preterite tense still because this is all the same occasion. So it has to be hice, I did. And that's used with this sport here, natación, en la piscina para relajarme un poco. So I play squash. Afterwards, I did swimming in the swimming pool to relax myself a bit. Okay, so I want you to pause the video here. You're going to do this work on your own. And when you are ready, restart the video so that we can check that you've identified the correct verbs. Thank you. Off you go. There's your whole the whole passage. Okay, so assuming now that you've started the video again because you've done your identifying of verbs, we need to come on to number 4. Por la noche, in the evening. This is still last weekend, in the evening. Fuimos, vamos, vamos. Ayer, it is of course fuimos, we went. Al cine. And we saw, we're going to see, we see. This is the present tense here, vemos, from ver. Vamos a ver, we're going to see. We saw, vimos. La nueva película Disney que se llama Lion King. We're still in the past here, so something about it was brilliant. Fue, es, va a ser. It was brilliant. Fue. Y me gusta, va a gustar, gustó mucho. Now, I like, I'm going to like, I liked it. It's the preterite tense. Now remember here, gustó is the he, she, it part of the verb gustar in the preterite. Because what you're saying is it pleased me. There's that me at the front. That's the indirect object pronoun which comes before this verb. It pleased me a lot. So I liked it a lot, the film. Normalmente. Okay, so now we need to think this is, ooh, it's a bit weird. A different time indicator. Up here we had el fin de semana pasado. Now we've got normalmente, normally. So this is going to introduce the present tense. So normally I watch, veo. Películas en DVD en casa. Normally I watch films on DVD at home, pero prefiero ir al cine porque. But I prefer to go to the cinema because it is more fun. Es, present tense, más divertido. Por lo general, again, in general. I don't do much during the weekends. Hice, hago, voy a hacer. It has to be hago. Normally I don't do a lot during weekends. A veces, nice frequency expression, sometimes. I go, voy de compras al centro. Y si tengo bastante dinero, voy a un restaurante. So sometimes I go shopping in the center, and if I have enough money, I go to a restaurant. Me gusta comer hamburguesas. Now look, notice this here, me gusta, singular. You're talking about hamburguesas, so some of you may think it should be gustan, but it's you like eating hamburgers. So anything that comes before, an opinion that comes before a verb like that is going to be the singular form, me gusta comer. If you just wanted to say I like hamburgers, it would be me gustan las hamburguesas. But because you're saying you like to eat them, then that's the singular me gusta plus the infinitive. En mi opinión, llevo una vida bastante sana. In my opinion, I lead quite a healthy life. In the future, right, new time indicator here, en el futuro. I did, I do, I'm going to do. It has to be the last one. Voy a hacer más deporte. And y, bebí, voy a beber, bebo. I drank, I'm going to drink, I drink. It's the future, so it has to be voy a beber menos café. Okay, so there were your correct verbs identified. Well done if you got all of those right. You now need to pause the video, check your work, Make sure you understand it all. There's the whole thing in view. Check you understand it all before you move on. Okay, so you're going to put this into English, please. Now, this is English rather than Spanish. So I don't propose to write all this out so you can check it. We will go through it in a moment just with me reading it out. But pause the video now, please, so that you can write this in English. It's quite long. It's longer than anything you get in a reading paper normally, but it will be very good practice of what we've done already last week and also this week. Things like food, different food types. Okay, so pause the video, write that out, please, giving yourself a heading translation. So you could put GCSE reading paper, translation to English. There's the whole the whole text. So pause, do the work. When you're ready, restart it. Okay, so assuming you've now done that work, you should have, I feel terrible, me siento fatal. My stomach really hurts, me duele mucho el estómago. Because yesterday evening, comí 3 hamburguesas y 2 pasteles de chocolate. Because yesterday evening, I ate 3 hamburgers and 2 chocolate cakes. También bailé mucho en la discoteca. Also, I danced a lot at the disco. And ahora me duele la cabeza, la pierna izquierda y los oídos. And now my head, my left leg, and my ears really hurt. So my head, my left leg, and my ears hurt. Next one, normalmente como comida bastante sana. Normally I eat quite healthy food, although sometimes I drink too much coffee. Nunca, nice frequency expression there. I never eat junk food because it's very unhealthy and greasy. I prefer fish to meat, so a la carne, so prefiero pescado a la carne. I prefer fish to meat. Y en el futuro voy a comer más verduras, and in the future I'm going to eat more vegetables. My parents drink wine or beer from time to time, de vez en cuando. Pero mi madre dice que, but my mum says that they are going to drink alcohol only at weekends, solo los fines de semana. También en casa vamos a comer menos galletas, pasteles y chocolate. Also at home, we're going to eat fewer biscuits, cakes, and chocolate. Para llevar una vida sana, no debes comer comida basura. Now, this structure here you've seen, no debes, plus an infinitive. You saw that talking about school rules, what you must or mustn't do. So here we've got, in order to lead a healthy life, para llevar una vida sana, no debes comer comida basura. You mustn't eat junk food. Hay que comer, you have to eat, una dieta equilibrada con verduras y fruta. You have to eat a balanced diet, so equilibrium, remember, is balance, with vegetables and fruit. También debes beber mucha agua. You also must drink lots of water. Puedes comer, so another modal verb here, you can. So it comes before, it comes before an infinitive. You can eat some sweets from time to time, but not too many, pero no demasiados. También tienes que dormir bien. Also, you have to sleep well. Se recomiendan 8 horas al día. They recommend. So this is like a verb here where it's not applying to anybody in particular. Recomiendo is I recommend. Recomiendas, you recommend. But se recomiendan is like they say you should, or they recommend. Whoever they are, but they say, they recommend, they advise. 8 hours a day. Okay, so there's your translation into English. You should have checked that through now. When you're ready and when you've written down any verbs that you didn't know in red pen, so you correct your work, then you can move on. So pause the video now and do that. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next task, and this is a writing, which I want you please to, this time is this from the writing paper, and it's to look at translation into Spanish. So this is the right sort of length of task for you. This is what you would normally get in the writing paper. It's using the present tense, the preterite, the future tense. You need to just use some of the vocab you've just seen to do your own translation, please. This should take you, in the writing paper normally, it should take you about a quarter of an hour to do this really well. If you think you have an sort of an hour and a quarter for the writing paper, you should spend about 40 minutes on what task 2, the main task, the biggest task, 20 minutes on the question 1, the shorter writing task, and then quarter of an hour on the translation. Okay, so pause the video, do the work, and then restart it when you're ready. Okay, so pause the video. Okay, so we're going to now correct this. I've put this into different sections so you can see how your marking would be. I think I have a balanced diet, but sometimes I eat junk food. Creo que tengo una dieta equilibrada. So remember I said that was like equilibrium on the previous exercise. I think I have a balanced diet. But sometimes I eat junk food, pero a veces como la comida basura. Yesterday, for example, I ate a hamburger with the chips and a chocolate cake. Ayer, por ejemplo, comí una hamburguesa con patatas fritas y un pastel de chocolate. My brother never eats healthy food, but he is going to change his diet. Mi hermano nunca come comida sana, pero va a cambiar su dieta. He says that he is going to drink more water and eat 5 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. Dice que va a beber más agua y comer 5 porciones de fruta y verduras al día. Also, we are going to do more sport. También vamos a hacer más deporte. Okay, so you've got your corrections there. Please mark your work, being really picky about, are your adjective endings right? Are your verb forms right? Have you remembered all the frequency expressions like never, sometimes, and so on? Have you got your verbs particularly right? When you are, so pause the video now and check and correct that. When you're ready, move on. Okay, now this was the, or this is rather the grade or the marking scheme for the translation. You get 6 marks, 1 for each of the key messages being conveyed. If you got all of them, then you get a 6. If you didn't get some key messages across, then you need to deduct marks accordingly. If you've got the key messages all across, you may have got the idea across, but maybe making mistakes on grammatical knowledge, which is possible. So you then need to look at how accurate your work is. Is it virtually faultless? Did you have pretty much what I had, or have you made significant mistakes? So give yourself a mark there out of 6 for application of grammatical knowledge. Be realistic there. Now, you need to do a couple of things here. First of all, you need to look back at your translation. Now, I'm going to actually put in here. You now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which tallies with the mark scheme on the next page. So if you can divide your work up like that and then give yourself a mark. Remember, you have to get the entire section right to get the mark, to get the message across. So do that. Check how many messages. Be realistic in terms of giving yourself a mark out of 12. Once you've done that, you then need to redraft. And this is essential. I need to see this in your book. I need to see your original work, your corrected work, and then a redraft, a perfect redraft in red pen, please. of the translation so that it's perfect. And then I would like you to please set yourself a target. Sorry, go back again. Set yourself a target, please, based on what you knew or didn't know. Or what you didn't know is obviously going to be your target. Okay, so think about, is it frequency expressions you don't know? Is it food vocabulary you don't know? Is it the verb forms you don't know? Be really realistic, set yourself a target which is specific and enables you to identify what you need to work on. Once you've done that, so you've marked it, you've redrafted it in full, in red pen, and you set yourself a target. Once you've done all of that, then you take a picture and you submit it on, not Goggle, you submit it on Google Classroom, please. And then that will be the end of your lesson 3 and therefore the end of the lessons for this week. There will be, you would have found by now, home learning on Google Classroom as well, which you need to submit according to the instructions I put there. Thank you so much, Year 11. You're working really well, and I know it's not ideal, but we will get back to normal hopefully. In the meantime, thank you very much for all your hard work.